Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Monday, August 7th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with a look at Paul Triple H Levesque's post-SummerSlam press conference, which took place late Saturday night. The WWE's chief content officer addressed several items during the press event, first touting some of the successes associated with SummerSlam.
I want to thank the partners at the Tigers and the Lions because they've been excellent partners in this process and helping us get to this point. Tonight was the highest grossing SummerSlam in the history of the WWE. It's actually our highest grossing PLE ever outside of WrestleMania. So successful on that. Tonight's attendance was 59,194.
Levesque also addressed a question from Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics related to the condition of Vince McMahon following his spinal surgery and if McMahon has any input in the current WWE creative product.
As far as the surgery goes, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you how fast that recovery will be, or if I'm a guessing man, I've seen Vince come back from some remarkable things way faster than anybody else I've ever seen do it. The reason this business, not just WWE, because you could make an argument, a very valid one, that without Vince and his vision for this business, maybe it wouldn't be here anymore. If all of us didn't look at moments in time for counsel from him on thoughts or ideas, or if we have a question to go to him and ask, we'd be silly not to. It's sitting next to somebody that knows more about this or has forgotten more about this than you'll ever know, maybe, right? And to not utilize that in some aspect. But is he day-to-day? No. Is he in it all the time? No.
New Japan Pro Wrestling presented its 14th day of the 33rd annual G1 Climax tournament on Sunday at the Edion Arena in Osaka, Japan. In the final day of B-block matches, Kazuchika Okada defeated Tanga Loa, the Great Okan topped Taichi, Kenta went over Yoshihashi, and in the main event, Will Ospreay defeated El Phantasmo. With their victories, Okada and Ospreay now advance to the quarterfinal round, joining Sonata and Hikuleo from Block A, who advanced during Saturday's show. During his post-show media appearance, Phantasmo was assisted by Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, who teased a possible alliance. Ospreay took his time with the media to put over New Japan Pro Wrestling and his opponent, El Phantasmo.
I hope everyone at home is actually watching this, because on the same night of there was that Jake Paul and Nate Diaz fight, there was SummerSlam, and there was UFC. So, New Japan competition for wrestling audience, very difficult, right? But then tonight, everyone in the world, everyone is going to talk about when it comes to professional wrestling. Mate, there is no one in the world that does it better than New Japan Pro Wrestling. El Phantasmo stepped up, man.
Day 15 of the G1 Climax, determining which two wrestlers will advance to the round of 8 from Block C, takes place tomorrow in Yokohama. In more news from Japan, All Japan Pro Wrestling presented Day 4 of its Summer Action Series yesterday from Makuhari Messe National Exhibition Hall in Chiba, Japan. The main event featured Yuma Aoyagi making his second defense of the Triple Crown Championship, defeating former champion Suwama in 22 minutes and 27 seconds. Also on the card, Rising Hayato defeated Atsuki Aoyagi in a number 1 contenders match for the All Japan World Junior Heavyweight title, currently held by El Lindemann. And in another featured bout, All Japan's Kento Miyahara knocked off Ayato Yoshida of the AAW promotion. Pro Wrestling Noah's 5th annual N1 Victory Tournament kicked off on Sunday inside the Budokan in Yokohama. In Block A matches, Jack Morris defeated Yoshiki Inamura, Yuki Yoshioka pinned Masa Kitamiya, Adam Brooks knocked off Keno, and in what served as the show's main event, Jake Lee pinned Timothy Thatcher. Block B results saw Manabu Soya pin Katsuhiko Nakajima, Lance Anoa'i top Yuma Anzai, Iho del Dr. Wagner Jr. beat Daiki Inaba, and Go Shiozaki pinned Saxon Huxley. The second day of the tournament takes place on Wednesday inside Tokyo's Kurikan Hall and ultimately concludes on September 3rd. The N1 Victory Tournament began as the Global League in 2010 and changed its name to the N1 Victory League in 2019. Winners over the past 13 years include Yoshihiro Takayama, Kenta, Yuji Nagata, and Katsuhiko Nakajima. Turning to the United Kingdom, Rev Pro presented live in London 76 yesterday in London, England. Undisputed British Women's Champion Alex Windsor made her 9th successful defense of the title, turning back the challenge of Hyen. Windsor is the longest tenured holder in the history of the title, having held it since winning it from Giselle Shaw on November 7, 2021. Also on the card, Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews of Subculture made their first defense of the undisputed British Tag Team title, defeating Chuck Mambo and TK Cooper of Sunshine Machine. Subculture also holds the Impact World Tag Team title. And we close with a stop in Mexico. IWRG ran their weekly Sunday evening show at Arena Naclopan yesterday, holding it in conjunction with the San Diego-based RGR promotion. The show was titled Caravana de Campeones 2023, with championships on the line in every match. In the main event, Hijo de Canis Lupus upended Ivan Rakoff, finishing him with a top rope Hurricane Rana to win the RGR heavyweight title.
Vamos a ver qué es lo que va a hacer el Hijo de Canis Lupus. Lo mandó sobre la lona, ya lo tiene en la cobertura, la cuenta en 2, el conteo en 3. Ahora no sé si la espalda estaba completamente plana.
The show's only other championship change came when IWRG welterweight champion Tonali submitted Ray Leon to win the RGR middleweight championship. The penultimate bout of the night saw Hellboy overcome constant interference from Hijo del Fishman to retain the IWRG Mexico title, pinning Rey Espectro. Earlier in the show, Hijo del Fishman defeated Hijo de Dos Caras to retain the IWRG Junior de Juniors title. Also on the show, Los Cerebros Negros defeated Dr. Cerebro and Dr. Cerebro Jr. to retain the Intercontinental Tag Team title. After a post-match show of respect, the champions kicked Los Dr. Cerebros low and stomped them before leaving the ring. Puma de Oro retained the Intercontinental Middleweight title over Shaco, and in the opener, Spiderfly retained the Intercontinental Lightweight title, pinning Gannicus. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.